Hmm. Hold on a second. Are you muted?
Hey!
Oh, there we go. I was like, because I heard your voice. I heard your voice up there in Zoom, but I didn't hear it in the stream, and I was very confused.
Alright, chat, refresh. So, here's the thing. My net has done that about 4 times in the last hour. We're going to continue to try to play the episode out. If it does it again, we'll do one of two things. We haven't decided which yet. First option would be to uh, do the stream offline and not stream it and then upload it to YouTube, or see if we can find a spot in the after TwitchCon sometime to do the last episode. So it'll be one of those two things. Um, but we're gonna go ahead and try, and hopefully my net holds up and we can make it through the episode without it being fucking weird.
Yep.
So that being said, Mitch is leaving the hotel.
I had
Um,
asked. What the last thing that I said. I don't know if chat. The last thing that they picked up was I was asking if he had heard anywhere around town in the past couple of weeks about an arsonist or anybody that was talking about burning things or kids maybe setting fires or something like that.
I honestly, I've been kind of out of it. Um, I haven't really kept up with local rumor. Um, no.
Okay. All right. Well, you got my number. You know where to reach me. You know how to reach me. It's not a big it's not a big town. I'll be here for at least another day or so. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And he kind of leaves the room, begins walking down the road towards his house.
All right. I'm gonna kind of just not to like soccer mom it, but I'm gonna just stand and kind of like watch him go for a bit until he is out of sight.
Okay. And he is walking very languidly and slowly, but in the direction of his house.
Okay. Um, let's see. What next? What next? Well, hmm. I think I want to try to find Brad.
Okay.
All right, so I am going to the diner to ask the only progressive person in the entire Tri-County area who may know where Brad is.
Okay. So you're just walking across the street.
Yep, walking. I'm looking both ways so I don't get hit by a Buick
Yep.
like that first time almost.
And the sun is starting to set at this point. It's given that kind of orange glow to everything as it's coming in thick through the clouds. Uh, and you walk in, and there's the little tin jingle from the doorbell that you've gotten used to hearing every time you walk in, and look around and don't see anybody. And a few seconds after you kind of standing there looking around, this large man in an apron and white t-shirt comes out and he's wiping his hands on a rag. Yeah, what can I do for you?
Oh, I was just actually wondering, is Henrietta off today?
Yeah.
Oh, well, hell, I wanted to ask her something.
Well, you probably catch her. I think she said something about going up to that Hell House place.
Her going to the Hell House?
Yeah, it's the only thing to do around here tonight. It's where everybody will probably be.
How about you? Are you going, or are you just gonna man the fort here?
No, somebody's gotta watch the grill.
Fair point. Fair point. Wouldn't want the whole place to burn down, would you?
No, that's my livelihood. Why would you even say something
Hey,
like that?
it was a bad joke. Sorry, Mister. All right. Well, thanks. Kick-ass burger, by the way.
Appreciate it.
I leave,
Okay.
get to my vehicle, and drive down to the Hell House.
Okay. So as you are making your way there, the sun continues to set, and you drive up the pathway up towards the Angerstein house. And you notice that the parking lot that has always had like kids' vehicles there when they're working, is pretty full at the moment. You can count probably about 30 different vehicles, um, and a couple of news vans parked outside. And there seems to be something going on with a group of people shouting um, out front of the Angerstein house.
I'm going to park down by far enough away where I can actually leave and I won't be blocked in, but not so far that it's going to be a hassle to get to, like to where my car and I will be isolated if I'm there.
Okay.
So I park. I make sure that I tuck my sidearm, kind of hide it behind, my little flannel shirt. So pull that all over it so that way no one can really see that it's there, and I go see what all the hubbub is about.
Okay. As you walk up, it's a group of probably 12 or 13 people holding rainbow flags and placards with messages on them like "Fight homophobia" and "God loves everyone" and things along those lines. And they seem to be kind of shouting at Lauren, who is trying to get them to like calm down and peacefully kind of leave. After a few moments of surveying the scene, you tell that Lauren is beginning to get agitated by this whole thing, and her demeanor is starting to change.
Do I see Henrietta anywhere?
No.
Hmm. Huh. Do I see anybody that I recognize?
Just Lauren at the moment. But you do see somebody in the crowd kind of bring out a board and begin to kind of charge forward through the crowd, just kind of pushing their way to the front.
When you say board, is it like a sign or is it like the dude holding a 2x4 because he's gonna cold clock somebody?
You're not sure.
Training kind of kicks in at this point. I start to maneuver through the crowd, not bull rushing through it, but kind of like being serpentine, kind of getting through the crowd so I can head this person off.
Okay. And you reach the front of the crowd just as you see Lauren kind of pointing her finger in someone's chest and being just under shouting in their face. See, like, I have asked you nicely to leave. You need to get off of this property now. And the person not backing down.
Have I made it to the person that was rushing to the front?
You've lost track of them through the crowd.
All right. I go up to one of the. Can I go up to one of the protesters that's not being accosted by Lauren and try to get their attention?
Yeah, and as you're like grabbing a shoulder, you hear this thwack as and you look over and you see that some of the volunteers from the Hell House have come out with tools and are beginning to accost the group of protesters.
Whoa. Is all hell breaking loose right now?
It's starting to. And you could see the news cameras that were stationed at the front of the house have turned and are now watching as this scene unfolds.
Are there any police presence at all?
There's not.
Oh, fuck. Okay. I rush over to Lauren. Lauren, what the hell is going on? You can't do this.
She's just kind of backing away with her hands in the air. She's like, I'm not doing anything.
No, you're responsible for these miners, and they're assaulting people. It's only gonna get worse. What is going on? Hey, stop that! I kind of like, point at one of the young kids. I assume one of the young kids.
Yeah, and one of the kids looks up at you for a minute, and then kind of backs off, and you can see the crowd of protesters are starting to like turn and flee. Away from the assault by these people.
I kind of grab Lauren by the shoulder, not roughly, not like I'm attacking her. I'm like, your goal is to not get this place shut down, but you're having a bunch of kids with 2x4s and power tools attacking protesters.
In the middle of that sentence, you hear what sounds like gunfire come from inside the house. Like, it's very recognizably gunfire.
I'm sorry, tell me that was a sound effects track.
And she's no, that is Kevin Cho. He's doing the school shooting scene. I'm
With
sure
a real gun?
Oh, it's got blanks.
Who is he shooting?
Just some other actors.
Okay, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're giving a minor what kind of gun does he have? Did you guys go all out with the AR?
No, it's a handgun. He got training from the sheriff. It's fine.
Training from the sheriff. You ever heard of Bruce Lee, Lauren?
No, who's that?
Oh, for God's sake. Have you seen Henrietta anywhere?
Yeah, she went into the house a few minutes ago.
She went into the house. Okay. Lauren, you got a phone that works?
Not out here.
Okay. I just kind of let her go, and I'm mumbling to myself, fucking simpletons.
She goes off, like, chasing some of the kids that are chasing the protesters.
I go over to the can I go to the nearest news crew?
Yeah.
Hey, you got a second? Do you guys have a phone that works?
No.
Are you serious? Nobody has a working phone out here?
No, there's no signal out here.
It's the year 2018, and in Podunk, eastern fucking Texas, we have no.
We've petitioned the companies to install cell towers, and apparently our small town is not worth it.
I'm starting to get that. No offense. Did you catch everything that just happened on video?
Yeah.
Okay, are you recording that or is it transmitting?
I'm recording. We'll air it tomorrow.
All right. I would suggest you guys kind of like pull back to a safer distance.
Are you threatening us?
No, I'm looking at what's happening. It seems like she can't control those kids, and at some point some of these protesters are going to realize that they can turn around and use their signs as clubs, and I've seen it go south before. I don't want that to happen to you guys, okay?
And they kind of look at each other and nod a little bit. We need some wide shots of the house anyway, so that's fine.
Right, wide shots.
And then gunfire rattles off from inside the house again.
At which point I am rushing into the house now.
Okay.
Why am I rushing? Because I don't want Henrietta to be shot by some dumbass kid who thinks he's playing Call of Duty. Okay.
And you rush into the house and you get into the queuing room, and there's a loud static just blaring from the TV beside the queue and the door. And there's a guy in there, and he's dressed up in what looks like probably like a secondhand surgeon robe with a mask. He's got blood kind of splattered across the costume. Like, hey, you gotta wait for a group.
Do I see anybody else in there?
No, not at the moment.
What group? There's nobody here. I'm the group.
Right, we gotta wait for more people to come. We can't just let you go wandering through the house.
Hey, listen, there's not going to be any more people. You want to walk with me? You can hold my hand?
And he just kind of looks at her. Fine. And he opens the door.
All right. As I'm walking past, I kind of like, tap him on the chest. Like, good job, kid. Keep up the good work. And I walk into the first room.
Okay. And the first room is very similar to the way that you saw it last time you were in here, except this time they're laying in the hospital bed. There is a person there, and there's a couple of chairs beside him with people sitting in them, and he begins as you walk into the room. The performance essentially begins, and the man in the bed coughs, and he coughs up some blood. and beside him, the people watching are crying, and they're like, Bruce, please just, you know, renounce your lifestyle and your sins and accept Jesus as your savior. And Bruce says, I was born this way. There's nothing for me to renounce, and I am not a sinner. This is the way that I was made.
Right on, Bruce. Exactly. Bravo. Well done, everybody. Where's the school shooting room?
And they all kind of look at you, and one of them just kind of points up.
Okay. Next question. Gold stars all around. Where are the stairs?
Through the rooms.
Wait. So you're telling me I have to go through this whole rigmarole before I can get to that one spot?
Well, yeah, we didn't want people going off the path, so everything else was kind of boarded up.
All right. You do realize that the police are more than likely on their way because there's a massive fight out in front of this haunted house, right?
No, we couldn't hear anything in here. That TV and the music.
Yeah, you want to turn the lights on, not the fucking lights with the saws on it. I'm looking at you. You can see there's like one standing right by the door, I imagine, about to turn the light. You know? It's just kind of like, I think that tonight it's not going to open. And then I am moving on to the next room.
Okay. And the next room is very similar again to the way that you saw it the first time through. It's got the big medical chair in the center of the room. Except this time there's now someone laying on it, and she's clearly been sprayed with water or something to make her look like she's sweaty. And there's a doctor there ready to kind of reach in under whatever gown she's wearing. And as you walk in, he begins to like fake pull on whatever's under the gown, and he pulls out that bloody fetus that was in the bowl your first time through.
All right. No. You know, it wasn't cute the first time I saw it. All right, and it's not cute now.
And like as you're talking, this teenager dressed up as an angel steps forward, and pictures of a little girl begin to get projected on the wall behind, on the other side of the medical chair.
Do they seem like they're like really into it, or
they haven't really paid attention that you're there or saying anything?
Is it the room is lit?
It's dimly lit, mostly by the projector that is showing the images of this child on the back wall.
Moving on, I just kind of like push. It is a kid, right? Not a grown person. These are all just like teenagers.
These are all teenagers, yeah.
Right. I kind of like just push this Poindexter out of the way and move on to the next room.
Okay. And the next room, as you open the door, is the one that was divided into two halves. And you could see like strobe lights flashing and black light going in the half that looks like it was made up to look like a club. And the other half of the room, there's just kind of this very dim amber light. This is the part that looks like a bedroom. And there's a girl there who has a friend with her that's trying to convince her to go to a rave with her.
I reach up and grab the strobe light and just kind of like rip it down. And if it's too tall, then kind of like when you're panicking because the smoke detector's going off and you just kind of jump. Well, you don't jump, you're 6 foot something. Like I jump and grab and just rip the fucker out of the ceiling, regardless of what damage it's going to do, because I got to hit the stupid thing so it shuts up. I do that with the strobe light.
Okay. And the strobe light comes down and the actors all look at you and just give you this very puzzled look. And as they do, you hear more gunshots from upstairs.
I kind of like take it, smash it on the ground. That shit gives me a headache. And then I move on to the next room.
Okay. So the next door that you open leads up to... What's that?
Where am I, by the way, on this map? I'm very...
That map is actually not really accurate because the way that it's laid out in my head. I should probably just not show it to you. The next door that you open leads to the stairs that ascend to the second floor of the house. And you could hear the gunshots beginning to get louder.
I put my hand on the grip of my pistol, and I flip the safety off, but still leave it there. And with one hand on it, and the other hand, I open the door.
Okay. And you can see there in the classroom that has been kind of built in this room, a kid standing. He's dressed in black. His t-shirt's got a big skull on it. He's got black hair and has got eyeliner on, and he's holding a gun, pointing it at two actors that are on the floor, holding their chest, and you could see like blood beginning to spurt from their hands and pool around them.
Does it look real? Are they screaming, making noise? Are they?
They're just kind of holding their chests at the moment. Um, I'm looking for. Give me a spot. Was it spot hidden? So, yes. Give me a spot hidden roll.
Okay. Nope. Why can't I roll like that in freaking D&D?
It looks fake. It looks like fake blood. And as you've pushed through the door, he's turned and is now pointing the gun at you. However,
I pull out my gun and point it at him.
and you can see his hands begin to shake a little bit, but he's not dropping the gun, and it's still pointed at your direction. And there, laying amongst the desks, is Henrietta.
Does she look like she's been shot?
She does.
Are there casings on the floor?
There are. But you're not sure if those are blank casings or live casings. Or casings from live ammunition, rather.
Right, right. He said his hands are shaking?
A little bit.
Son, you best put that down, because mine's not loaded with blanks. I'm going to try to intimidate him.
Okay. Give me an intimidation roll.
This has a check mark on it, whatever the hell that means.
Okay.
Oof.
And now I've got to figure out how to do this. Because he, instead of putting the weapon down, fires a shot. I gotta find stats for him or something here. Hang on. Figure out how to actually do this.
Oof.
There we go.
Oh, I should have just shot the kid.
And you do get shot by the kid.
What does 20 mean?
It was rolling his percentage dice to see if he actually hit you.
Okay.
He had a 45 in his firearms. He rolled below it, so it's a success.
Okay.
So that's how you got shot. And it does 3 points of damage.
So he kind of grazed me then,
Yeah.
is what you're saying.
Well, out of your 22, that's actually pretty high. So you probably took a shot in the shoulder.
Make it my left shoulder,
Okay.
because I'm a righty. And I've been shot before. I mean, I've been blown up by an IED before. So I imagine this doesn't take me out of the game, for all intents and purposes.
Yep. You're still alive. You just have a bullet wound in your shoulder now.
Yeah, I returned fire.
Okay. Go ahead.
Set center mass. So where's my...
Your firearms.
There we go. Really?
So as you're beginning to, get it out, the adrenaline is pumping through you, and you don't notice that the gun is actually like a piece of your sleeve is covering where the hammer is, and so you pull the trigger and it stops. It doesn't actually hit the cartridge to fire it, giving Kevin another chance to shoot at you. And he is able to shoot you again.
Kevin, why, you fucker?
You're going to take 1 point of damage from that one. So that one is a grazing shot.
That was a grazing shot. I am going to fucking shoot and aim for the head then.
Okay.
as I, you know what? I would say at this point, I'm kicking like a desk or kind of trying to like take cover as I'm shooting.
Okay. So it's going to be a more difficult shot.
Oh, yeah, of course it's a difficult shot. And of course I failed it.
So I think your sleeve, as you're kind of pulling it, trying to free it from the hammer, what that's actually going to do is it's going to make it easier for him to get a shot off on you. Because you're focused on that, not realizing that your flank is still exposed.
Okay.
Instead of behind the cover. So...
Did not want to combat.
So... Okay, so he is another successful shot.
Jesus!
His is actually, it's a 45, so that was just under where it should have been.
Where's my good rolls?
Well, apparently I'm using them all. So that one hits you hard.
Out, dude. Yeah, down to only 8.
So this one is pretty much a gut shot.
It takes a very long time to die from getting shot in the stomach.
It does.
Though it hurts like hell.
It does. What are you doing?
Gripping my fucking belly and screaming bloody murder.
Okay. And at that moment, the door slams open, and Officer Martinez enters with his weapon drawn and takes a shot at Kevin, killing him.
Where the fuck were you 10 seconds ago?
Dealing with the protesters, and I heard the gunfire. Holy shit. And he begins to like apply pressure to your stomach. And he calls out on his walkie-talkie. He's like, "Hey, I'm at the Angerstein house. We've got shots fired. Man's been hit and an EMT." And he's holding pressure on your stomach. You all right?
At this point, I've kind of tried to like weasel out of my shirt, and I am tying it as tight as I can around my waist, like around my gut.
Okay.
And yeah. No, I've been shot in the fucking stomach and in the arm. Check them. There were supposed to be blanks in his gun, but he kept shooting.
And he kind of moves over and he checks on Kevin first, making sure that he's not a threat any longer, and Kevin is down. And then he begins to kind of, as you're holding your stomach, check the other bodies in the room, and he comes back and he just kind of shakes his head.
Martinez, what the fuck is happening in this house?
I have no idea, but let's get you out of here and let's get you seen by the medics. Let's get you downstairs. And can you walk?
Can I walk?
Yeah, you can get up. It's going to be painful, but you can walk.
Yeah.
Okay. And he kind of gives you his shoulder to lean on your arm that hasn't been shot. And he begins walking down the steps with you.
Can you put your hand on my lower back? Can you tell me if it exited?
And he pats around. It's like, I don't feel anything.
Well, I mean, that's good.
And as you kind of descend the steps, you hear a sound that sounds like breaking glass from somewhere else in the house. And then you hear screams coming from outside.
I am in no condition to check any of that out.
Martinez looks at you, and he says, "Come on, we're a couple rooms from the front, and I'll go see what that was. Make sure that you're out of here." And
I like being out of here. That's good. Getting me out of here. Getting me out of here is a good idea.
And he continues to come move you through the rooms, and the kids, the actors that were there before, are nowhere to be seen any longer. You finally get through the queuing area and out the front door, and the light coming from the house is different. It's brighter, and it seems to be flickering. And Martinez kind of walks you away from the porch and sets you down kind of against a tire well facing the house, and you can see that the house is catching fire. And there's somebody is there kind of right at the front of it, throwing in the midst of throwing another Molotov cocktail, and it takes you a second, but you recognize the hoodie, and it's Bradley, the man that you spoke to at the edge of the woods the night before, tossing another Molotov cocktail into the house.
Brad!
And as you shout out, Bradley stops just long enough for Officer Martinez to take his shot. And he's unholstered his weapon and he takes a shot, hitting Bradley. And as he does, the Molotov cocktail kind of bursts open as it hits the gravel ground. The fluid from it spreading around, catching the bushes in front of the house on fire. And as the house begins to burn, and you can see the flames licking up through the windows where some of the scenes were set up inside, you begin to notice that the flames give off this purple smoke as they're burning, and you can hear kind of like in the back of your head the sound that sounds like rolling distant thunder. And you watch as the house, the beams that are holding up the porch and the awning begin to bend and finally snap, and the awning comes crashing down as the ground around the house begins to take on this purple smoky hue and begins to shudder and shake as the house drops into this vortex.
I am scrambling back away from it.
And as you do, you can see these reptilian hands that reach up out of the vortex and grab the edges of the ground. And it's at first it's the first pair, and then as those kind of begin to find their purchase, another pair comes up and a third pair behind that, and then this long snake-like neck and head comes up out of this vortex, and it's got the skin is pulled back, and you can see this maw of teeth and amber eyes that are lining down the back of its head. And as these 6 arms are beginning to find their purchase,
how big is this thing? Like man-sized, or is this like
it's larger than man-size?
Like elephant size?
Like, yeah, probably. Yeah,
it's like a large animal, not. Yeah. Okay.
And it's finding purchase, and 2 more hands pop up, these ending in large 3-talon claws, grab the surface of the world and pull itself up, and you see it as it finally finds its footing, and it's this creature that probably stands 20 feet tall. It's got its head pulled back, and it lets out this shriek that just causes you to place your hands against the side of your head to block out the noise. And its spine is glittering in the starlight, and you can see these large protrusions coming off of its spine, and its tail just kind of flicks around, and it looks around as you are really the only person left. Everyone, and it was either pulled into that vortex or had given it distance. So it just kind of looks at you, and its eyes burn into you for a moment, and it begins to trounce off towards the edge of the woods, scraping and kicking up the rocks and the gravel as it does. And
it doesn't walk towards me then, right?
No. And all of this happens in the span of about 15 seconds. And then once it's gone into the woods, the vortex below where the house was closes up, and the world is silent.
And the house is gone.
And the house is gone.
And Martinez is gone.
And Martinez is gone. And you were sitting there, gut shot.
Can I make it to my car?
That's a good question. Give me. Let's see. What do we have? You know what? I think what happens is you can crawl your way, holding your stomach with your bad arm, and using your good arm to kind of prop yourself up and crawl towards your car. And as you do, you see lights down in the distance flashing, and you can hear the din of an ambulance siren as it's beginning to make its way up the path towards where the Hell House was.
If I make it to my car, which I assume I do, I'm kind of just going to reach in the window or open.
I
Yeah.
forgot one other thing. I need a sanity roll from you.
Okay, how do I do that?
So you should have a box that says sanity right under your characteristics, and just go
Uh-huh.
ahead and hit the green. Oh, we didn't actually get your starting sanity in here for some reason.
No.
Um, well, I'll tell you what. What we'll do is we'll do it like this. Sanity you would lose at this point.
Don't I start off at like 100 or
I
99?
think you started off at 99.
Right.
Um, so there's that one and there's that one.
All right, now let me just roll then. Now that I have it at 99.
Yeah.
Syntax error.
Okay. So I think that. Oh, oh, your current needs to be edited. There we go. Now try it. There we
There we
go.
go.
All right. So you do lose some sanity from seeing this creature and seeing the house get pulled into the vortex.
I'm sure I would lose some
Um,
sanity. No one's gonna believe me. I need to leave this place. This place is cursed.
So you're gonna lose 7 points of sanity.
So now instead of 99, I have 92. I mean,
And
I've seen some shit, but that's new.
the EMTs do eventually show up and patch you up and put you in the or put you in the back of the ambulance. And their questions and they're asking, "Where's everyone else? What happened?" And at this point, you're just kind of in shock.
Yeah, I'm not. I would not respond. I mean, I would have responded if it was just a gunshot, but with like a gator claw coming out of the ground and looking at me and then stomping off, I, I, I probably just do that. I probably just stutter.
Okay. Um, in case anybody's curious what this thing looked like, I thought I did a good job describing it, but
Well, what does this thing look like? Give me an image. Oh yeah, yeah. Fuck that.
that is what crawled out of the vortex
Uh huh.
below the Ingerstein house. But you do notice that as you're getting loaded into the back of the ambulance, there's a shift in, for lack of a better term, the air. Um, Everything doesn't feel as tense as it did before. It's almost as if there's just kind of this sigh of relief, and whatever was holding the tension in the air has let go.
Okay. Can I go to the hospital now?
Yeah, and so we'll end with like the ambulance driving back down the hill towards the main road away from where the Angerstein house did stand at one point. And I think that's where we can end the campaign or the adventure. That is the end of it.
So I failed.
Yeah. So there were like we were talking about at the beginning of the
But
show.
Rojan was wrong. I lived. I won. I beat the streak.
So
I
with
mean, fuck Texas, but
with Call of Cthulhu, like we were saying at the beginning of the show, it's mitigating loss, right? So there is a way to make it through the encounter without anyone dying.
I can put my coat back on. I'm getting
Um,
cold.
so what we can say is you've got a body count that happened right in the school shooting, and then in the burning of the house, and those were the major things that your character was essentially supposed to prevent.
Right, the blood from summoning forth
Right.
whatever the hell.
So the deaths in the Angerstein house are actually what calls forth the Lagora. I probably mispronouncing that, but I also have no idea how it's actually pronounced. So bite me. It's Lloigor. But yeah, once the deaths in the house begin to accumulate, that's what brings it out of its slumber or hibernation or however you want to call it to form that vortex under the house and then bring itself into reality. So your character lived, lost some sanity, but the points of mitigation on where you're supposed to thwart plans, and this one's difficult because it's not obvious, right? It's just like, oh, there's some shit going down. Your character should probably try to help, but you don't actually know that these deaths are what's causing the culmination of everything.
Right. If I was more of a heroic person, I'd be like, I want to stop the deaths. I'm like, oh, this is my fucking problem.
Right.
You know, like I am not America, world police or anything, you know?
But yeah, so that the only thing that I had a problem with this adventure is, or this mystery, or whatever you want to call it for Call of Cthulhu, is that it is hard to actually realize what you're supposed to be doing and where the thread of it all comes together. And I think you actually kind of got where I wanted you to be, with some good prods on. I'm going to give myself credit. Some good story prods to go those
Oh yeah.
directions.
Yeah, you did a freaking bang up job in as far as like the direction that I was supposed to go in. I kind of figured there was something happening at this house, and if I could have gotten it shut down,
Yep.
right, they were trying to push so hard for the house to keep having people in it, and I just didn't shut it down in time.
Yeah, the
Whoops.
big win for the um,
The
Camp-
resounding victory,
right,
would be the
is
resounding
shutting the house down somehow. That is actually like that's how you win, is shutting the house down, because then opening night doesn't happen. No one gets shot. No one gets caught up in the Molotovs and dies. So that was actually how you were supposed to win the scenario. You're still not defeating the creature, but that's not really ever part of Call of Cthulhu. That's like,
Yeah, I don't reckon that I would ever
No.
be able to. I mean, maybe I could defeat it, but no.
like if I look at the actual attacks and stuff that it does, like it does 4d6 worth of damage. You had 22 hit points. It would have just taken a single attack to kill your character off.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, no. That's just not no, not gonna happen.
but yeah, so that was Call of Cthulhu. This has been Hell in Texas. Which, if you want to check out some more modern Cthulhu stuff, Hell in Texas is a supplement that is up on RPG Drive-Thru, part of a collection called The Things We Leave Behind. So if you're ever interested in Call of Cthulhu, want to play some modern settings and adventures, that is one of them. There are 6 in that collection, I believe. But Spooner, this was your first time playing Call of Cthulhu. Very different game from Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
Very different game from. What did we actually play together on RPG Mixtape? It's been a while.
We did. It was like a superhero.
Oh, that's right. We did like Mutants and Masterminds or something.
Mutants and Masterminds. Yes, we did. We did like the superhero thing, but yeah. How do I feel about this compared to the other ones? All the other stuff that we've done.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm really upset that you killed Henrietta. Henrietta was dope. I was totally gonna ask her out if we made it through this. I wish that a similar mundaneness, if you will, was active in D&D 5th Ed.
And I think,
I to clarify,
Mhm.
I like fantasy games or fantasy settings where there's magic is very, very like non-existent or extremely taboo. I prefer my magic to be untrusting. You know, I do not be trusting of people that use magic or magical creatures or mythical whatever. It's very taboo. It's very not like officially accepted as part of rational thought and rational life. I like mundane characters because I feel like they have higher stakes. And that just, I mean, if we could find like a happy medium where like magical monsters, you know, like minotaurs or kenku or tieflings or elves or whatever, that's a thing. But like all the magic is gone now, so it's very lo-fi. I like lo-fi stuff. It's why people love Game of Thrones because of political stuff. I love it because magic is like WMDs.
Yeah.
Not everybody has it, and it's highly suspect.
So there's a couple things that I will say and suggest for you to look into. There's a Dragon Age tabletop RPG.
Oh, cool.
And Dragon Age definitely, you had elves and you had dragons and you
Right,
had
right.
dwarves, but magic was, especially blood magic, was like, what
Yeah.
the fuck are you doing? And then so the D&D kind of equivalent of, almost equivalent of what you're looking for would be Eberron, um, where
Oh, okay.
Eberron is more steampunk than than normal D&D settings are. You have the Warforged, which are essentially like living golems.
Hmm.
But magic in and of itself, in that it's very low magic kind of setting. The only
Cool.
people that actually get to do magic, if I remember correctly, and it's been years since I've read Eberron, so if I'm wrong, somebody
Right.
will bitch at me in the comments. Um, the only people that really get magic are people that have dragon mark tattoos, which tie you back to an old bloodline. If I remember correctly, again, it's been years since I've read Eberron.
Okay.
But so that might be a thing worth looking into because it is D&D. It's
Yeah.
a setting that came out for D&D with 3.5, if I remember correctly. But it's low magic and more steampunk.
Yeah. Like, the one thing that it was that Kickstarter that you shared with me about like the Viking themed,
Which I
where
did. Oh, good.
yeah. No, no, the rules, as I read more about them, like this is exactly like D&D, but instead of different races, you have like different clans and different like ethnicities. And there is magic, but it's really, really fucking rare, taboo, shamanistic, kind of like, hey, to do this magic, it's very much the idea of it has a cost. And the cost is blood or life. Or it's like you're doing damage, you're transferring damage from something else to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that's like the way you heal somebody. Have you ever seen them? Oh, fucking perfect. You ever watch this old HBO series called Carnival?
I have not.
Okay, fucking go do it right now.
Okay.
You can only find it like on like HBO Go or on. I have the DVDs. I have the DVDs and Blu-rays, and it's like it takes place during the Dust Bowl, so it's already like in this old timey Americana kind of thing, and it's about this. It's about a lot more. It's basically about the devil coming to Earth. It's fucking cool as shit. Unfortunately, it got canceled after 2 seasons, so it breaks my heart. But like the boy, as part of his shtick in the carnival, is he's a healer, but him having these like healing powers, everybody's kind of fake, but he's real. And the way that he heals people is he basically takes life from something else. So like the first time he heals somebody who has who's lame legs or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
the entire field for 3 acres dies.
Oh wow.
And then like eventually by the end he learns to control it, so he's like actively finding people who are assholes or rapists or whatever, draining the life out of them and the vitality out of them to like give it into like the child workers that got broken limbs and shit. It's really cool, but it's very dirty, it's very muddy, it's very like there's a price to having power, and I love that aspect in games. I think it's super cool.
Right on. Yeah, and I did back that Kickstarter, and it was funded successfully. So eventually,
Yes.
whenever the books come out, definitely it's one of those things because I love Norse
Yes.
mythology. If you ever, Spooner's seen it, I've got a big leg tattoo that I'm dedicating to Norse mythology. Um, but yeah, so I'm excited about that. I'm waiting on to get the book in my hand so that I can start looking at it and figuring out when we're going to play it. But it is something that I do want to do at some point.
God, what was it called again? It wasn't Sagas of Midgard. What the fuck was it called? Shit.
I just had an email from them. Hang on.
Was it Yggdrasil? No, it wasn't.
No, it
Uh,
was Erxloft.
Iskloft. Yeah, there you go.
Iskloft,
There you go.
yeah.
Yes. That is gonna be cool. I want to play that. And leaving the art on it is so fucking dope.
So, would you play another Call of Cthulhu game?
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
Okay, cool.
In a heartbeat. I would love to play. I would love to play a Call of Cthulhu game. With other people as well.
Yeah,
I really, really liked the one-on-one thing. Don't get. I
Yeah.
really, really. It was extra fun. I think Call of Cthulhu was perfect for it, especially. I would love to do this in particular again. I think it was really cool to actually get into the story right proper,
Yeah.
barring the internet funking or anything like that. And I should definitely, if we do it again, I'm taking better notes, just straight up.
Yeah, so for you guys not aware, this was an experiment for us to do a one-on-one tabletop RPG. Call of Cthulhu seemed to be the system that it was going to fit best with, because if you're familiar with Lovecraft's work or any of the mythos work, it's very lonely and it's very desperate work. So doing it one-on-one felt like the right way to, or the right game system to do that in. Um, the thing that I really enjoyed about this is it let me. I was much more descriptive in my descriptions of things, in my stage settings, in like setting the tone and the feel of everything, which I enjoyed a lot. The downside to this is it's exhausting.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. By the time we're done, I would always be like, all
Yeah.
right, my juices be spent, dude.
so when we're playing D&D, I've got 5 other people usually, that I'm DMing for, and they talk amongst themselves, and they bicker back and forth about how to solve a riddle, or some bullshit ruling that I made, or whatever. But it gives me time to not talk, and talking for hours on end is exhausting. And I'm reacting to whatever Spinner's character is doing, and just focusing just solely on that character and the world around him and what's going on there. It's a lot more exhausting than regular D&D is, for some odd reason. But I really enjoyed it because it did let me be a little bit more verbose with my descriptions, which I like, and I'm going to try to do more in my D&D games. And encourage Spooner to and other players to be more verbose in their descriptions as well, because I think that worked out well, setting the pacing and the tone and everything with that. I think I really enjoyed doing so.
Oh, I'm gonna become super I'm going to be very obnoxious in the Dragon Heist and subsequent, Mad Mage Mountaining campaign, because I plan on being like in character as often as humanly possible.
Fantastic.
Talking in the voice. When I'm not talking in the voice, that's when you know that I'm not in character. So I'll never have to explain it.
Love it.
And I'm really fucking looking. I'm gonna be such a fucking nerd.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
I know it.
But yeah, that is for you guys that watching. That is gonna start up on November 18th. Will be our first episode of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Which I'm really looking forward to. The show is going to be entitled Waist High and Waterdeep, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Proud Papa naming the campaign. Yeah, feels good. My suggestion got picked.
Yeah, I like it. I'm still debating on which villain to use. I keep going back and forth with two of them, so I'll decide at some point. I was pretty sure that I had made the decision, and then I saw a supplement that ended up on DM's Guild, and I was like, oh, that'd be a lot of fun. So now I'm kind of waffling again on which one I want to use. But
it's you. Do them both. Make them fight halfway through the fucking campaign and be like,
well,
oh man, you foiled my plans, and then like the other boss turns around the table.
it's funny because depending on how long you guys take to do a thing, could change which villain you go up against. It's a complicated storyline. I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun to do an urban D&D game. I'm really excited for that.
Right.
But it's gonna definitely be a stretch on my storytelling and my improv. But I'm looking forward to it. So that's starting up in November. Tomorrow is Arcane Stars. We're going to be over at Daniel the Demon's channel for that in the morning. Sunday is nothing streamed, unfortunately. Monday we are back with Blades in the Dark. Tuesday is Gibbering Mouthers. Wednesday and for the next week, most of us are at TwitchCon. So there'll be a lack of streams, unfortunately. But we will be back. If you're at TwitchCon, if you're planning to be at TwitchCon, tell me, let me know. We're going to try to get a dinner together with the community. We did it last year, and it went really, really well. I really enjoyed it. getting to see everybody and meet everybody. It was a lot of fun. Hi, Kraken. I haven't seen you in forever. How are you? Forever. So yeah, unfortunately, you're right at the end of the show. I really enjoyed Hell in Texas. I really had a good time with this. It was a really good experiment. It went really well. Before we go, send our love and support to another caster here on Twitch. Spooner, who are you? What do you do on the internet? And why did you let me torture you like this?
Because you're like my best friend. That answers 2 of the 3. Yeah, who am I? I'm Impious's best friend. We're best friends now, like fucking Coach Steve from Big Mouth. You're my best friend. You're my best friend, my dude.
I'm your Gary.
You could be my Gary. Make sick in the warm. Anyway,
if you guys haven't seen Big Mouth, holy shit. It's on Netflix. It's fantastic.
We finished season 2. The wife and I finished season 2 the other night, and we were both like, "This is fucking heartbreaking. I can't believe it's over." I'm so sad. They got to do another season.
I'm just starting season 2. So no
spoilers.
Oh
my god!
We just had the Planned Parenthood episode.
You're in for some shit with the remainder of. Anyway, I'm not going to spoil it for you because it's fucking. Anyway, what do I do on the internet? I stream, baby. I stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 9:30 in the morning until 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I used to say I'm a variety streamer. No, man, I fucking do creative streaming, and I paint miniatures and dick around 3 days a week. And the other 2 days, I find some video game to fuck with. That will probably change when Fallout 76 comes out. Let's be honest. I plan on painting all of the Army Men miniatures that they're sending me because I got the mega holy shit collector's edition with the power helmet.
Somebody goes buy Spooner a bunch of Fallout minis. He needs some behemoths and some Scimitars.
You can buy them because they sell a tabletop game that's like a board game, but it plays like D&D, right? But that's like $400, so no. But they are giving me a bunch of like Fallout. They're giving me a bunch of Fallout miniatures, right? So, well, not miniatures, like little army men. So they're probably not super detailed, but I'm gonna fucking paint those and give them away on stream too, man. Why not? So I'm finding an angle for all the creative shit as much as possible. That's what I do. I also am 50% of a podcast that I do with HB Fox. And we just released an episode today. It's episode 7. We are going to be out of town for the next time a release supposed to happen. It's every other Friday, but we've decided that on Sunday night, we're going to be recording as well to make sure that we have something to release, even though I will be at BlizzCon in California the weekend after TwitchCon. So aside from that, that's about all I do. That's about all I do online, man. I do Warhammer miniatures, and I play D&D with you, and Call of Cthulhu, and I do a podcast, and I play video games.
Right on. I'm Impius. I run Dungeons and Distractions here on Twitch with the help of my fantastic cast members and co-GMs, and you guys watching at home that make this possible. It's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy that we can share these stories and these games with you guys. It means a lot to me. You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/Impius. Go drop me a follow there. We are going to go give our love and support to a fantastic caster here on Twitch. Super positive guy. The Hunter Wild. So grab that raid command. I heard there were dragons in here. Hit join raid at the top of the chat. I lost complete train of thought. He is playing. No, you're fine. He's playing RimWorld. RimWorld 1.0 just came out, so he is in there doing that. And again, thank you guys for being here. Really do appreciate it. We will be back tomorrow morning on Daniel the Demon's channel for Arcane Stars. I'll see you then.